Hey guys, we're going to be playing with the D5 a little bit today. Running around our little short course. Got everything charged up and ready to go. We are going to strap the VR cam on it for a minute today and maybe get some in-car footage. So anyways, stay tuned. Okay, one of the things we want to check out first is make sure we got a full battery on our car. Well, that's hard to see in the sun. So we got 6.72. I don't know if you can see that on camera. 6.72 volts. These will charge up typically at around 7.2 at a full charge. Don't run them if I get less than 6 volts. Also, we'll check our transmitter here. The digital transmitters to me are just making something that more complicated that doesn't need to be. Okay, so transmitter's on. Let's power on our car here. A couple things I want to check before we run today. One, I want to make sure we've got good braking. Let's see. Turn those freely. Now let's see how far our braking gauges. Right now we are centered on both trims. So I would like for, so there I'm getting a gradual amount of braking and a full brake. Okay guys, now this is the D5 on the brakes. You've got two adjustments here, one for your front brakes and the other one is for your back brakes. So you want to basically, typically the way I set those up is I set my radio trim to full throttle trim. Then I adjust these to where they're snug. That'll lead me to where I can't turn the wheels, so the brakes are on. So, and as I trim this back out, you can see that at center trim it is no brakes at all. So, and I like for it to be, let's see. So there's center trim. Now let's go a little heavier on the brake trim. A little heavier on the brake trim. And that is not as tight as I like it. I like for it to actually, when I let off my throttle, I want it to apply a little bit of brake. The throttle trim to the right is more brake and the left is more throttle. So I've been running my trim backwards trying to adjust these brakes how I want them. So let me go back to full throttle trim. Yeah, now I should be able to put this where I want it. So with that set on full throttle trim, not full throttle, then we want to put these brake adjustments to where they are snug or tight. Snug's probably a better word. And this is Ohio. The humidity is always high and I am sweating. Okay, so now, so that is our front brake adjusted. Now we got to get it back in here to the back brake again and see if we can push him in. And that collar on the back brake on this is, the screw is a little difficult. Now that I've adjusted those, I'm going to loosen up these return springs. These basically just keep this tight on this brake shaft. Okay, so now I've got full brake. Okay, that's full brake trim. Okay, and that's the throttle trim just barely past halfway. Let's take it back to the center. Again, when you're adjusting these, you need to make sure you work them before you check them. So at center, we have basically no brake. So let's go trim on the brake a little. We've got just a little bit of resistance here. Pull this block back so the wheels aren't hitting it. Okay, so now let's move on to the throttle. So on the throttle, I like to make sure it's going wide open, and it is not, so we're going to give it just a little touch here. Okay. Got a return spring in place here. I don't think we're going to mess with their steering trim. we're only going to turn this thing out about a 16th of a turn. Give us a little bit more running. I've done more than a 16th, but we're going to try it there because it's pretty mean. And it should actually cool down as it runs with that mixed or set properly. And they're not burning your fingers. If you reach into one of these D5s for this pull rope, make sure you don't hit that exhaust. Let her cool down, guys, before I can adjust anything to normal off-roading temperature. Okay, guys, I think we got her richened up, but I did find another problem. We had a fuel line leaking on us. So anyways, it was running pretty lean and hot though too, but I'm not so sure it wasn't because it was sucking air into the fuel line. But anyways, it's set, the carburetor's set at about 16th turn out on the high-speed jet from where it was. I'm just going to leave it there. I thought I'd spilled fuel earlier, but I guess I didn't. It was just this thing was leaking. Okay guys, as bad as this looks, I think it's pretty minor. Looks like it just popped out one of the pins. I don't see anything broken. Let's take a closer look. It flipped just as it hit the asphalt part of the track out there. And tumbled pretty hard. Okay, I want to be careful, mindful of the exhaust here. Out of there, there's clips on each end of that pin. See, I guess you can't see on camera there. See if I can get you adjusted here. So here's what we got. And this pin goes right in here, like so. And that's what goes through this part. And obviously your axle, ouch, hot exhaust. Somehow that thing flipped completely over. There we go. So it doesn't appear anything is actually broken. It just came apart. But boy, it took a hard hit there. So let's see if we can get that fixed and maybe do some more video. Okay guys, under a little closer investigation, stuck our pin back in there, but I think you'll be able to see the obvious issue there. Is it has pulled that screw completely out of that plastic differential. So get a clear picture of that. Let's go over and look at the other side. You can see what that looks like over here. So anyways, oh, we picked up a rock passenger there. It's because we like to rock and roll, baby. Hey guys, I just want to share with you why I think this crash happened to start with. I'd actually stiffened up these shocks for asphalt, and I hadn't loosened them back up, and I'm out here running on this rough surface, and as you can see, it bounced around quite a bit, and it needed more cushion. So lesson learned. It bent one of the ears on the back of the metal frame. There's a little metal ear that comes up there. Could get the rock fastened. Oh, the rock is pinned in there. So anyways, we'll get her going and do another video.